Hello, here's chapter 12 of our book, The Creakers, and here's Douglas to help. Chapter 12 is called Grunt, Guff, Scratch and Sniff. Lucy looks up at the heavy washing basket dangling from the ceiling, then back down at the 4 Creakers. One more step, Lucy thought, and I've got you! She released the creaker trap. The skipping rope unravelled around the hangers and swished out of the wardrobe so fast she could barely see it whiz across the room. In a great crash and clatter, the washing basket came crashing down from above, trapping the creakers under it and sending the rubbish they'd collected flying off in all directions. "No!" growled Grunt. "Ouch!" burbled Guff. "Get her off me!" screeched Scratch. "We be trapped!" squealed Sniff. The creakers cried out in panic, and Lucy leapt out of the wardrobe, heart ringing like an alarm clock in her chest. "It's the kidling," grunted Croak. "She was sneaking in the wardrobe." "What a trickster," said Guff. "Yes, a naughty little rotter," Sniff cried, interrupting Scratch, who boshed him on the head. "Sorry." Grunt quickly took charge, plunging his black claw into the pouch around Sniff's neck and pulling out a pinch of their golden dust. He puffed it straight at Lucy, and all the creakers watched eagerly as it swished through the air, straight towards her face, as though the dust itself had a mind of its own and was reaching out with golden, crumbly fingers. But instead of finding her eyes, the dozy dust hit the tinted lenses of her swimming goggles and fell uselessly to the floor. Sniff gasped in horror and fainted in shock. No kiddling, sorry child, had ever fended off a dozy dust attack before. "You crafty little sprog," grunted Grunt. "Did you seize that? The kidder got freaky dust stoppers," Guff mumbled in a panic. Scratch kicked Sniff in the belly. Sniff! Sniff, it's me! Scratch, wait up!" Sniff said, coming round. "She'd be a crafty little kiddly Nissan," Grunt growled, glaring at Lucy. Suddenly, he began clawing at the floor through the woven bars of the upside-down basket, which was barely big enough to hold all 4 of them. The other creakers copied him, digging their claws into the wooden floor and scratching away. Slowly, the whole washing basket began to move across the floor towards the bed. It wasn't heavy enough to stop them, and with Norman knocked out with dozy dust, there was no one to weigh it down. Lucy gulped hard, swallowing her fear, and sprinted across the room. She jumped up on top of the washing basket, pushing it back down again, trapping the creakers underneath. "Let us out! Let us out!" the creakers croaked. "No, I will not let you out," Lucy said, with a nervous wobble in her voice as she crouched above these monsters. It was terrifying not being able to see what the creakers were up to under her feet, but she didn't dare get down in case they made a run for it. As she peeped over the edge, the creakers were hidden in the shadow. Just their long, creepy claws could be seen as they scratched at the floor. Lucy wished she could turn on the light, but the switch was on the other side of the bedroom. If only she had Norman's torch! She could see it lying on the bed next to him, but could she reach it? "What's the kiddling doing?" Guff muttered nervously from below. "Can't see the rotter," groaned Grunt. "She be stretching out for something," groaned Scratch. "She's got a... Ah! The bright! The bright!" Sniff cried in pain as Lucy flicked on the torch and shone it down through the bars of the basket, trying to see these creakers up close. "Turns the bright off, you horrid little kiddling! It be too hot!" Grunt cried, cowering away from the torchlight. Lucy suddenly caught a whiff of something horrid. It smelled like burning hair, all smoky and dry. She realised the creakers didn't just excuse me. What's the dog doing? She realised that the creakers didn't just dislike the torchlight. It was hurting them, burning them. "Oh, I'm so sorry," Lucy said, switching off the torch right away. These creatures were awfully disgusting, but she didn't want to hurt them. No creature deserved that. Plus, the smell of their burning flesh was horrendous. Yes, that's a nice kiddling, gasped Guff, dabbing at his smouldering skin. Now just be lifting up this trapper, and we be on our ways, leaving you and your friends alone. Yes, he added, peeping at Lucy with his black eyeballs. Ella! Norman! Lucy said, suddenly remembering her friends. Gently she prodded Ella, who was lying next to the basket. Ella, it's me, Lucy, can you hear me? But Ella didn't open her eyes. She was snoring happily, in a blissful snooze. Oh, I wouldn't be trying to wake up a dozer, said Sniff helpfully. Not's good to wake someone up who's had the dust. Makes 'em all messy in the noggin. Messy in the noggin? Had the dust? Lucy asked, confused. Yes, kiddlings go right out with a bit of dozy dust, leaving it all nice and easy peasy for us to creak about. Ow! Groaned Sniff, as Grunt elbowed him in his round belly. Quiet, Bogbrain. You be telling the human too much, Grunt snapped. No, don't stop, said Lucy. That's why I've trapped you. I want answers, and you're not going anywhere until I get them. The Creakers were silent, and Lucy sensed them all looking at each other inside the basket beneath her feet. We not be telling the kiddling a thing, she heard Grunt hiss firmly to the others. More loudly he added, we be waiting for more Creakers to come and free us. Then you be in a whole heap of troubles, whispered Scratch threateningly, with a shy smile in his voice. What other Creakers? Said Guff curiously, rubbing his cannonball tummy. I didn't know anyone else be coming here tonight. Shut your muddle, you mush-minded moron, Grunt barked. Oh, right, yeah, sorry, them others, Guff quickly said, trying to play along, but Lucy knew no one else was coming. Suddenly she had an idea. There was a way she could look at the Creakers. Her bedroom mirror. She quickly whipped round to face the wall where her full-length mirror was hanging, positioned perfectly to reflect those wicked creatures underneath. There you are. She smiled and put her hands on her hips. Hello! Waved Sniff chirpily before being elbowed in the nose by Scratch. Now I want you to tell me exactly what you've done with the grown-ups, Lucy said. No, huffed Grunt firmly, staring back at her in the mirror. I want to know why you took them, Lucy calmly explained. Not's a chance. I want to know why you creak around our bedrooms at night. Can't tell the kidder our secrets. And I want you to tell me how I can get the grown-ups back, said Lucy. Wah, 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 wailed Grunt, which Lucy remembered was a Creaker way of laughing. Get the grown-ups back, wah, wah. That'd be impossible, you silly kidder. Lucy's stomach twisted at the word impossible. I'm not silly. Nothing's impossible, she said. Impossible isn't real. It's just in your mind. If you tell me where the grown-ups are, I'll march down into the wallop and get them myself, and things can go all back to the way they were before. Oh, I'm afraid you can't be doing that, said Gruff. Sounded a little more serious than he had so far. You see, Kiddling, your grown-ups aren't quite the same as you remember them. The Creakers started giggling, which sounded more like the way you gargle when you brush your teeth. What do you mean? Lucy said, starting to get a little panicked. What have you done to them? We, said Scratch, not we. Not us little Creakers, not Grunt, Guff, Scratch and Sniff. We's be good little Creakers. We not hurting your grown-ups, jumped in Sniff. Then who? Asked Lucy, her mind racing to work out the riddle. It be the wallop, said Grunt darkly. The wallop doing what the wallop does. What does the wallop do? Asked Lucy. The Creakers looked at each other with wicked smiles. The wallop be changing 'em, said Grunt. The wallop be twisting 'em, said Guff. The wallop be keeping 'em, added Scratch. Forever, whispered Sniff.